Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is kind of a how-to video. I just wanted to show you guys a really easy way to clean your brushes, because I know cleaning brushes is not really exciting and often we don't want to do it, and it's something that we push off. So this is a way that I found is super simple, and it does require a few contraptions, but they're easy to find, I think. So let's get started. So here's my makeup brushes before I wash them. This is how I keep them in my room usually. So these are my face brushes, my eye brushes, and more detailed brushes, and some more face brushes. They used to be organized, but now they're kind of just everywhere. So here I just wanted to show you guys, I also have a makeup brush cleanser. So it's a spray. You use this more for spot cleaning. It's Bodyography Pro. It's from Boxycharm. But today I'm showing you how I wash my brushes, like a deep kind of clean. So I did have a close-up of the product, but I apparently lost footage. So I'm using the solid brush cleaner from Sephora. It's a solid soap that removes brush buildup on makeup brushes and sponges, made with Moroccan argan oil for added conditioning. I really liked this product, and I think it was pretty affordable. So it comes with this little scrubby thing. I just put it in the cap of the product, and I used that to scrub my brushes. So I'm showing you here, I basically just took some of the soap on the brush and then I scrub it on the pink rubber thing, and I make sure when I rinse my brushes to hold them downward like this, because you don't want to get too much water on the ferrule, which is like the part that is glued onto the handle, because there is glue under there and you could melt it and your brush could fall apart. So, and then I just try to make sure that I get as much water out as possible, and then I lay them on a towel to dry. So I'm just going in with my eye brushes. I'm doing more than one at a time so it goes faster, because this could be a pretty tedious task. But this product really makes it a lot easier, so I would recommend it. And like I said, it is affordable. There's a few versions of this kind of product on the market. I know Beauty Blender makes one, but it's expensive. And this one comes with the scrubbing part, which is really good. I think this is a mini size of the product actually, but it still has lasted me really long, because you don't need a lot of soap at a time, and it smells really good too. So I'm just rinsing off the soap as I go, because as you can see there is makeup getting onto it. But yeah, it's super easy to rinse. And after, I'll show you when I dry my brushes, I also dry this soap out, because I don't want it obviously to get any bacteria or anything on there. So this brush was really hard to clean actually. That's why I kept this clip in, because I just wanted to let you know. So this is a foundation brush. It's a Tarte foundation brush that I use with the Tarte foundation that I have. But I find because I waited too long to wash it, the product is like really built up inside, and it actually kind of stained the brush as well. So yeah, if you have a brush like this, or like a buffing brush that you use for foundation, maybe clean those ones a little more often. And I also use the solid cleanser for my sponge. So as you can see in the sponge as well, there's a lot of product built up in there, so you want to make sure that you rinse it really well. There's my sponge, good as new. Not really, I have to get rid of it, it's pretty old. So here I'm just rinsing out the soap itself. It's actually stuck in there, so yeah, I couldn't get it out, but it's good enough. So this is where I put my brushes while I was washing them. I just laid them out on a towel at first. So this is a makeup brush stand for cleaning and drying makeup brushes. This is your best friend if you want your brushes to last longer. So it looks like this. It's like a tray with silicone things, and you have these two like stands that you stick on the bottom here. So after you're done using it, you just take it apart and put it back in the box for easy storage. So you just take your brush and you put it through the hole, which is pretty obvious. But I found this at TJ Maxx actually, but I believe I saw it also at Winners. I'm sure there's like a lot of other places you can find it online or in store. So this is what it looks like when all my brushes are inside. So here they are, just drying upside down so that the water doesn't go through into the hand. So now that I showed you guys how I wash my brushes and dry them, now that they're dry, I just wanted to show you guys what my favorite brushes are, because I think often on YouTube people don't talk a lot about what brushes they're using, but I find that if you don't have the right brushes, you won't always get the look that you want, and it can be frustrating. So now that I've been doing my makeup more often since I started my YouTube channel, I think I have a better idea of what brushes I like to use and which ones give me the look that I have in my head. So I'll start kind of in order of how I use the brushes just to make it easier, and so this video isn't all over the place. So I'll start with my eye brushes, and if you've watched my other videos, you've seen me use these before, and I usually mention them in my description video because I always mention the brushes that I'm using. So the first one is this brush here. It looks like this. This is the Royal & Langnickel Omnia BOM40 shader brush. So it has a gold handle like that. I got this in a Boxycharm, and I think almost all my favorite brushes I've gotten in Boxycharm, and I think that Boxycharm, one of the reasons why I think it's the best, like the most valuable subscription box, is because you get brushes in it, because makeup brushes are really expensive. You do have them for a while as long as they're good quality. But yeah, it was nice to get them in Boxycharm. Anyway, so this was one of them. This is the brush I use to apply my base shadow. So after usually I use a primer. I prime my eyes, and if it's like too tacky or anything, I might put a loose powder over it. If not, I go straight in with my eyeshadow, and I use this brush just for the size of it, really, and because it's so soft, so it just gets all over the lid and the brow bone, and I just find it's super easy to use. So you could also use it as, like it is, I guess, supposed to be used, a shader brush. So I don't know if you're putting shadows in the crease here and you want to blend them out and make maybe a more blown out look because it is so large, then you could achieve it with this. So my second favorite brush is this one here, this big fluffy brush. This is also by Royal and Langnickel, but it's in a different line, in the MŌDA Pro line. So it has this like rubberized kind of handle, and this is the BMX 430 Crease Brush. So it is meant to blend out shadows in the crease, and that's what I use it for. So this one in particular, I use it for my transition shade because of the way it's tapered at the end. I can put it right in my crease, but it will blend out the shadow a bit higher than my crease, which is how I like it, because I have deep set eyes, which I learned, by the way, from watching a video by Samantha MUA. I'll link it below because it was so good and there's so much information in it. It's a video about how to know, well, how to better apply your eyeshadow depending on what kind of eyes you have. So I always thought I had hooded eyes, but I have actually deep set eyes. So my brow bone comes out farther than my eyelid. Yeah, so anyway, that's just to tell you why I like to use this brush, is because it's so fluffy. It blends out the shadow in the crease and upwards the way I like it, and it's very soft, and these brushes feel very good quality, and they're pretty affordable as well. My third favorite brush is this little one here. This is a Luxie Beauty 237 blending brush. This brush is very long and flimsy. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but like it's not dense at all. And what I like to do with this brush is when I put a darker shade directly in my crease, so unlike the one I use for my transition shade that I want more like a blown out effect, this one I put directly in my crease, and I can open my eye and just blend. And because it's so flimsy, it just goes along the curve of your eyelid, and it just makes blending in the crease very easy. So I really like this brush. I like it as well for going in circular motions on the outer corner. So if you want to bring your eyeshadow a bit farther out and do more like a winged effect, it really works for that as well. My next brush is also by Luxie Beauty, and if you watched my December favorites video, it was actually in there because I use this really often in the month of December. This is the Luxie Beauty 141 mini round brush. So it's a very small domed brush. This I use exclusively for putting shadow on my lower lash line. Because it's so soft, it just works really well for that. It doesn't irritate my eye. I find my under eye is very sensitive, so I need a brush that's very soft like this one. So like I said, I just use it for blending shadow under the eye, and because it's so small, it doesn't make the shadow come too far down and then I look like a raccoon. I don't know. Yeah, so it just keeps the shadow where I want it. I really like this brush, and this brush has like a sparkly gold, well, a bronze gold handle. Also came in a Boxycharm in a 3-piece set, I believe, with some other brushes that are small like this, but this one is my favorite. My last favorite eye brush is this one here. You've seen it before because I use it in every single eye look. This is the brush I use to put my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight. This is a brush by Aveda. It's the number 5. It came in a set. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it will be listed down below. So Aveda brushes are very pricey, but I've had this for, I don't even know, over 10 years I think. And it's still in perfect condition. Yeah, so Aveda brushes are pretty pricey. They only come in sets of 3, and they have 2 sets of 3 brushes, so they only have 6. Yeah, they have 6 brushes in total, and like some other like separate face brushes, but Yeah, this one is the number 5. It's called the Eye Smudger Brush. It doesn't say it on there, but I know that's what it's called. So it's just like the perfect shape for the inner corner, if you can see. You could also use it if you're putting like a dark, like maybe a black shadow. If you're using it as a liner, that would work really well also. But I really like the Aveda brushes. They are made with flax seed, actually. So I actually just looked these up because I just wanted to know more information about it. So yeah, it comes in the Flax Stick Special Effects brush set. It's $76 Canadian for that set. I believe Aveda is cheaper in the US, but yeah, in Canada it's pretty pricey. So just to give you some more information why the handle looks like this, and you might at first glance be like, this feels really cheap for $76 brush set. So the Aveda brushes, they're a professional makeup brush set with an eco-responsible flax infused handle and soft bristles made with non-animal fibers. So this is the Eye Smudger Brush. You also get an eye contour brush and a complexion brush in that set. Each brush has an eco-responsible flax-infused handle and luxuriously soft bristles made with 100% Taklon, non-animal fiber. Brush heads custom designed by makeup experts, handles made of 30% natural flax fiber, 70% polypropylene, of which 90% is post-consumer recycled resin. Short, fine bristles mean less powder fallout when applying. Compact, tapered handles fit in smaller bags. So this is the brush set here. That one. So yeah, that's why the handle looks kind of like speckly like this. It's because it has flax in it, which is kind of cool. So those were my eye brushes. Next I just have 4 other brushes. They're all face brushes. So the first one is the one I use in all my videos to dust away the bake from under my eye. So this is from the same set as this brush here. It's by Royal & Langnickel. It's the BMX 130 Pointed Blush Brush. So this is actually called a blush brush, but I find it's pretty big for blush. So I use it to dust away bake, to buff any powder that I've put anywhere else on my face, and I really just like it. It's really soft. Why I like it so much for under the eye is because it looks like very fluffy, but it's actually very dense. So when you do dust away the bake, it doesn't just like flop everywhere and, you know, brush the powder all over your eye. It really takes it and dusts it away. So I know that's like really specific, but that's why I really like this brush. My next brush is actually broken. Yeah, so it does that. But I find like if I just twist it back on, it's fine. And I've washed this a few times and it still works properly. So this is actually a BH Cosmetics brush. It's the 109. It's a dual fiber brush, as you can see here. So the dual fiber brushes, they're supposedly meant so like the black bristles are more dense, and then the white bristles, if you can see there, are more dispersed. So you actually buff your product with the black part, and the white part is supposed to like diffuse it, something like that. But I actually got this as part of a set. I forgot the name, but I got it at Urban Outfitters and it was on sale. I think I paid $12 for 5 brushes, so it was a really good deal. And these brushes feel very soft, and yeah, I mean it did, the glue kind of melted I guess, but I still think it's worth it for 5 brushes. And this is the only one I've had any issue with. And I think it's because like I use it for bronzer and I'm more like rough when I put bronzer on, I suppose. I don't know. So yeah, and I do it in circular motions, so maybe that's why it came off. I don't know. But yeah, so if you can't find this still at Urban Outfitters, you can get BH Cosmetics on their website, and they seems like they're always having a sale, so wait for a sale if you're looking to buy anything from them. But yeah, I really like this brush specifically for bronzer. My next brush is from the same set, so it's another BH Cosmetics brush. It's the 110. So it looks like this. It's a slanted brush. It's very soft. This is actually called a contour brush if you look at the description of the set, but I use this brush specifically for blush. So I just find like the shape of it is perfect for the area that I put blush in, which is usually right here, and then I blend it out, so it just fits that area perfectly. And the slant, it just really works for my cheek area. And it is kind of, well, it's a dense brush, but it's also like more flimsy at the top here, so it does give a nice blend. It doesn't apply like too much product in one spot and then you can't blend it out. It really helps to blend the product too, so that's why I like this brush here. My last brush is a fan brush. So I feel like people on YouTube don't really like fan brushes anymore. They were really popular for a while, but then everyone stopped using them, and I think it's because they do apply, obviously I use, well, maybe not obviously, for some people I use this for highlighter, and it does apply the product very softly. So if you're someone that likes like a crazy glowing look, maybe you prefer a more dense brush like the brush I have. Do I have it here? No, but it's the Milani all over blending brush that you've seen if you've seen some of my other videos. That's a more dense highlighter brush, so it picks up more product and deposits it more obviously on the skin, whereas a fan brush really diffuses the highlight and applies it more in like a specific area, I guess. But this is a really soft brush. I like that. Is it a duo fiber brush? Maybe. Yeah, it does seem to have fewer bristles at the top here. So, and it's super soft, so when I apply highlight I just go up here and then I turn the brush this way and I apply it up like that. I also apply it like on my nose also, but it doesn't really matter what brush you use when it comes to that, I think. So yeah, this one, I just really like fan brushes, especially if I don't, like if I'm going for a more natural look and I don't want my highlighter to stand out more than other things, then I would use a brush like this. So this one is the only fan brush I have, but it's by So Susan. It kind of, the name kind of came off, but yeah, I can't really read it. I think it doesn't say the name of the brush anyway, but I believe it's just called the fan brush because it's the only one that they make. So it's So Susan Cosmetics. It's an indie brand. I also got this in the Boxycharm. So yeah, there's my favorite brushes. So I hope you liked this video. It's probably a bit long because I did show you kind of like the steps of how I wash and dry my brushes, and then I talked about my favorite brushes. So yeah, it might have been long, but I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something. If you have a specific way that you wash and dry your brushes, let me know down below, and let me know some of your favorite brushes as well. I don't have a lot of brushes, so it's always fun to learn more about them and which ones people like the most. So if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!